Pim took a deep breath. The air in apartment 1408 was thick, still, and carried a cloyingly sweet scent. It was jasmine, but overpowering and acrid, as if masking something rotting underneath. This apartment was a perfect arrangement. Too perfect. The white tile floors gleamed, and the cream-colored walls were flawless. Her digital marketing firm had rented this luxury apartment for her at a suspiciously cheap rate. A rare deal, her manager had said, with an odd wink. Pim, new to Bangkok from Chiang Rai, had first felt grateful. Now, standing in the chillingly silent space, that gratitude evaporated, replaced by a creeping fear. Only the steady drone of the air conditioner broke the silence. Outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, Bangkok was a vibrant, silent movie. She knelt to inspect the bathroom. It was terrifyingly clean, sterile even. Her eyes stopped on the metal drain cover, which was sealed shut with a layer of clear, heavy-duty tape. Driven by curiosity, she picked at the tape with her fingernail. It was stuck fast, but the cover popped off with a dry click. Beneath it, in the blackness of the pipe, was a single knot of long, black hair, wound like a cocoon. A shiver ran down Pim's spine. She quickly slammed the cover back on, telling herself it was just the last tenant's hair. She went to bed, trying to force the image from her mind. But that night, the dream came. It held no images, only sensations. She felt submerged in a warm liquid, her body rigid and immobile. An invisible pressure pushed down on her chest, making it hard to breathe. The sound of trickling water echoed closely. Then, another scent rose, overpowering the jasmine. It was the smell of old metal, like the temps of old pennies. Pim woke with a jolt into the silent, droning apartment. Her heart was pounding. Though the AC was set to 20 degrees, cold sweat beaded on her forehead. Pim tried to lose herself in her new job. As a logical person, she blamed the exhaustion on stress and the anxiety on being homesick. But the apartment refused to let her be. The jasmine smell grew stronger, clinging to her food and her clean clothes. The metallic smell would appear at random moments, like when she was brushing her teeth. During a video call, her friend May's brow furrowed in concern. "Pim, are you okay? You look pale, and your new place is unnervingly quiet." "I can't hear any traffic. It's just good soundproofing," Pim replied, forcing a smile. "I'm probably just tired." That night, the dream returned with images. She was in an ancient wat, the gilded walls shimmering in candlelight, the air thick with incense. She was running, a terrible fear strangling her heart. She fled down endless corridors, past statues of the Buddha with their mysterious smiles. Behind her, footsteps echoed. They were not hurried, but slow and measured. They were the footsteps of a hunter who knew their prey couldn't escape. She hid behind a colossal, seated Buddha and held her breath. The footsteps stopped. The silence stretched painfully. Pim risked a look, seeing no one. A sigh of relief escaped her, but then she looked up. The Buddha statue was looking down at her, its stone eyes no longer compassionate, but cold and empty. From its stone mouth, a stream of dark, coppery-smelling liquid began to ooze. Pim screamed and woke up, gasping. The AC droned. The jasmine hung in the air. She was safe, but the fear remained. A cold weight in her chest. Pim began to change. At work, she became quiet and distant, and she stopped calling May. She became obsessed with scrubbing the apartment, but the cleaners only mingled with the jasmine, creating a sickly odor. Sleep became a torture. When she drifted off, the dreams returned, now connected, forming a narrative. She dreamed of a man whose face she never saw. He was always in shadow or with his back turned, but she felt his presence. He was in the apartment with her. He moved objects. He stood at the foot of her bed, watching her sleep. In the dream, she tried to scream but had no voice, tried to move but was frozen. One night, the dream was terrifyingly clear. She was in apartment 1408, but the lights were off and the curtains drawn. The smell of jasmine and metal was so thick, it made her want to vomit. The man was there, sitting on the sofa with his back to her. He was talking in a low, flat monotone devoid of emotion. He wasn't speaking Thai, but every syllable felt like a cold needle. "Who's there?" she whispered in the dream. The man stopped talking. The room went silent. Then, very slowly, the man began to turn his head. Pim squeezed her eyes shut. She couldn't bear to see. She woke with a choked sob. Pim's logic was shattering. She couldn't work or eat. She knew she needed help, not from May, but something older. That afternoon, she wandered to a market stall selling amulets. Her rational mind screamed, but her fear screamed louder. She bought a takrit, a small, rolled metal amulet on a red cord. The old vendor looked at her with cloudy, incurious eyes. "For protection?" Pim whispered. The old woman just nodded, slowly taking the money. Pim returned to the apartment, her hands trembling as she hung the amulet on the door. It felt like a small, pathetic gesture. That night, she huddled on the sofa, not daring to sleep, her eyes fixed on the amulet. She fell asleep. That way, the dream came instantly. She was in the apartment. The man was standing right in front of her. He wasn't looking at her. He was staring at the takrit on the door. He smiled. It was not a smile, but a baring of teeth. He raised his hand, and in the dream, the amulet shattered into dust. His cold voice spoke in Thai. "This tiny piece of metal. You think this can protect you?" Pim woke up screaming and scrambled to the door. The takrot was still there, but it was ice cold. Her small attempt had been mocked. Desperation crushed her reason. The next morning, she skipped work and went to a large wat, where she found an old monk sweeping leaves. She fell to her knees, sobbing, and begged him, "My apartment. There is something. Please, come and cleanse it." The monk stopped sweeping. He listened with a weary, calm face. When she finished, he asked only one question. "Where is the address?" K Residence, Sukhumvit Road. Pim rushed. Apartment 1408. The moment she said 1408, the serenity on the monk's face vanished, replaced by a deep, primal fear. He took a step back, gripping the broom handle. "I cannot go there," he said, his voice trembling. "But why?" Pim grasped at his robe. "I will make a donation, whatever you ask." The monk shook his head, pulling his robe free. "It is not about money, child. That place," he took a shaky breath, "that place is full. It only wants to be retold." He turned his back and resumed sweeping, faster now. "Go," he called back. "Do not return to that apartment. Whatever you have taken from it, you must burn." Pim was left alone in the courtyard. The most terrifying confirmation had come from a living man, too afraid to face it. She returned to the apartment. All hope gone, she slumped to the floor and stared at the wall. Time lost its meaning. Not until a sharp, frantic pounding on the door tore through the air. Pim opened the door. The knock came again. Pim It's me, May. You haven't answered your phone. I got worried and came over. Pim staggered to her feet and opened the door. May rushed in, her face stricken with panic. Oh my God. Pim, look at you. Are you sick? Pim looked at her friend's face, and all her suppressed terror broke free. She burst into tears, telling May everything. The dreams, the smell, the hair, the feeling of being watched. May, a believer in the spiritual world, went white. Pim, she said, her voice frighteningly calm. This apartment isn't clean. You have to leave. Right now? I can't, Pim sobbed. The lease, my job. They'll think I'm insane. May looked around the perfect apartment with angry eyes. Then we find out the truth. We find out what happened here. May's words reignited the logical part of Pim's mind. Investigate. Get data. That evening, Pim sat at her laptop. She typed in the building's address, followed by the apartment number 1408. Real estate listings popped up. Luxury apartment, panoramic views, high-end amenities. She added Thai keywords: crime, death, accident. Then she found it, a link to a small, local news site, dated 8 months prior. The article was buried. The headline was short and cold: Tragedy at high-rise on Sukhumvit. Pim clicked. The article told of a foreign couple. The husband, a businessman, and his wife. Neighbors had complained of a foul odor. Not Jasmine. The smell of decomposition. The police had broken down the door. The wife was found in the bathtub, submerged for days. The husband was found on the sofa, having taken his own life. The apartment, the article stated clearly, was 1408. Pim felt the blood drained from her face. The jasmine smell flooded her senses, now revealed as the smell of death doused in perfume. They hadn't just cleaned this place, they had renovated it, trying to erase the story. But the apartment remembered. Her phone rang. It was May. May, she whispered, her hand shaking. I know what happened. Pim listened to me. May's voice was panicked. You have to get out now. My real estate friend says no one is supposed to rent that apartment. It's on a blacklist. Why? Pim asked. She said the wife. He kept her in the tub for days. May sobbed. He filled the tub with hundreds of jasmine flowers to try and mask the smell. The drone of the air conditioner suddenly stopped. The apartment fell into an absolute, suffocating silence. Pim stood frozen. She could hear a trickling sound from the bathroom. Very slowly, Pim turned her head. The bathroom door was cracked open, and the stench of metal and rotten jasmine hit her. She heard the man's monotone voice, not speaking English, just talking. The sound of running water grew louder. Pim, in a trance of sick curiosity, stepped toward the bathroom. She had to see. She pushed the door open. The tub was full of dark, murky water, and floating on the surface were hundreds of white jasmine flowers. Between the flowers, a woman's face was looking up, her skin pale and puckered. Her eyes were wide and blank. Her long, black hair fanned out in the water like a net. The woman in the tub slowly raised one cramped, white hand. She wasn't looking at Pim. She was staring at something behind her. Pim turned around. The man was standing in the doorway, a black silhouette. He was holding something that glittered in the dim light. Pim opened her mouth to scream, but the apartment had stolen her voice. The man took one step toward her and began to speak in that flat, emotionless voice. The smell of jasmine was choking. The paralysis from her dreams washed over her. She could only stand and watch as the apartment began to tell its story all over again. Light, blinding. The blare of horns. Pim opened her eyes. She was on a sidewalk, the hot, humid Bangkok air hitting her. It was chaotic, loud, and so very alive. May was kneeling beside her, clutching her hand. "I found you in the lobby, just staring," May said, her voice shaking. "I had to drag you out." Pim stared at her trembling hands. She was out. She had escaped. That morning, she had sent the emails, breaking her lease and quitting her job. She had left almost everything behind. May had to sort it all out. They had been in a cheap hotel for 2 days. Pim hadn't slept. Now, May was taking her to the airport for a flight back to Chiang Rai. "It's going to be okay," May reassured her, though clearly terrified. "You're going home? You're safe now." Pim nodded, but the dreadful silence of 1408 still echoed in her ears. The flight felt impossibly long. When the plane landed in Chiang Rai, Pim felt a fragile sliver of relief. She was home. Her parents met her, their faces etched with worry at her haggard appearance. They wisely didn't ask too many questions. They assumed Bangkok had just been too much for her. That night, in her childhood bedroom, Pim slept. A deep, dreamless sleep. The next morning, she felt almost normal. The fear had receded. She decided to take a long, hot shower. She stood under the water, letting it wash away the last traces of Bangkok. She washed her hair, relaxed. That cloying jasmine scent was finally gone. She bent over to rinse the shampoo from her hair, and then she froze. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Right there, on the white-tiled floor of her bathroom, next to the drain, was something that did not belong. It was black, long, and soaking wet. A single strand of hair that was not hers. Pim stared at it. The sound of the shower suddenly seemed to change, to become the sound of water running into a full tub. And underneath the sound of the water, she smelled it. It was faint, so faint, but it was unmistakable. The smell of jasmine. Thanks for watching until the end. What was your favorite part? Please let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss my future content. Your support is my biggest motivation. Thank you all so much.